Hello guys, Lich here. So this will be the final update for the Lich Minion because I'm really exhausted from the PoE 2. And I tried a bunch of things, some things work, something doesn't. So one thing that I do that doesn't work if I try to go full mana. So basically you are using Chaos Inoculations. That's going to give you Chaos Immunity and immunity to bleed. And Eldritch Battery that will convert all your ES into mana, and then Mind Over Matters, which basically your damage going to go to your mana before your life. And the reason why this setup is good because we are totally go for mana stacking, and that's mean it's going to be very good for the Black and Heart. And based on the POP that I do with the perfect gear, perfect rolls, you can get something like 4500s, maybe with some shenanigan you can go to like 5000 mana, which is not that bad. But 5000 mana is not very big hit pool, although you kind of immune to chaos, so that's kind of nice. But 5000 compared to something like ES, which if you watch Captain Lance Chaos Lich, he reached basically 20k ES. So 20k ES is like ridiculous amount of ES. And I'm doing comparisons between like high-end gear with high-end gear. So this is not about like budget or stuff, because to reach that 5k mana you also need like a really high-end gear. Like I've said, perfect roll, perfect gear. But the setup also compensates you in terms of damage because of the Blackened Heart. With 5000 mana, you basically get like 200% increased magnitude of your Unholy Might. So Unholy Might goes from 30%, and now it becomes 90%. So you basically now get 90% extra damage as Chaos, which is a lot of damage. But because of the downside where it's really hard to stack that much mana and it requires a very good gear, I just think that it's not really realistic to achieve that, especially with the current state of the game, where the crafting is like very limited, and also on the market, I really hard for me to find a very good gear, and even if you find one, it's usually very expensive. And for the current state of the game, it's going to take a while to grind that much currency. I just think like it's really not realistic to chase that setup, even though you get a lot of extra TPS from that setup. So next, let's talk about the changes that I do on the current setup, which is basically the setup I'm doing right now. The setup is performing pretty good in terms of like clear, single target DPS. The DPS department is no problem. The problem is on the minion survivability. If you have a lot of AoE happens on the single area, the minions life going to drop pretty fast. And I think I do take like all the minion life note on the tree. We probably still can get some more resistance on the minion. Maybe that could help, I don't know. But for now, the minion survivability is a bit of a question mark. It's not happened too often, but it's just in a certain situations where you have a lot of AoE in the same place, the minion just not going to take it very well. I really think that they should buff the minion life, because right now it's a little bit too squishy. And I think my current gear is pretty good gear. Like I have a pretty high minion level, which means their base life is pretty high. And for the defensive layer, for me personally, I feel it's fine. It's not super tanky. I have like 4.5k like combined hit pool. It's not too great, it's not too bad, it's like kind of in the middle. It's just when you see other build that using ES that can reach 20k, that 4.500 hit pool seems like a miniature. That's the thing about it. Like the ES is just way too good. Like 20k ES is a lot of ES. So let's talk about the changes. The first one is I do get an upgrade for the scepter. Right now I have more spirit basically, and this is good, but I really don't think this is necessary. Because after playing around with it, I think around 10 reaver would be good, which I will talk a little bit about that later on. So this is my new scepter. Basically gain more spirit, have more attack speed, also have +4 minion level. And for the other gear, I have some upgrades, for example like the rings here, and the boots, and also the glove. I have a pretty decent rest for all of them. And usually I will aim for 90%. And the reason why I aim for 90% is because of the map like this, which have like player curse with elemental weakness. So what elemental weakness do is going to reduce your elemental resistance by 15%. So 75 plus 15, you have 90% resistance. I also have 72% on the chaos resistance. So these 3 away from cap. So right now chaos damage is not that scary anymore. And another thing that I changed is also the belt. This is a new update. Basically now your belt can have more than 1 charm slot, and this one have 3. I should go for the 60% damage taken recover as mana, but like I said, I'm just super exhausted from the game, so I just grabbed this one. This one is pretty cheap, it gives me 3 charm slots. And for the charm slot, I'm using freeze, bleed, and ignite. And the reason why I'm going for the ignite and bleed is because ignite and bleed, or basically any damage over time, is going to eat your recovery. And for me, that's a very very annoying things to happen, because in this setup in particular, you really want to have all the recovery that you can get, and ignite and bleed is just getting in the way. So that's the reason for ignite and bleed, and this is the two charm that I will recommend to use. And for the third charm, frozen's, I just don't like to be frozen. That's about it. If you want to change it to something else, for example, like stun is also pretty annoying. You can change this one to that. It's really up to you. But for me personally, I just hate being frozen. And for the passive tree, there's a few things that I changed. This is basically how the passive tree looks right now. And there's a new one over here. And this is basically increase the effect of wither. And because we always going to have like maximum stack on single target, the effect of wither really helps with the DPS. But this is like 6 point. If you don't feel like you want the extra DPS, you can allocate the 6 point to something else's. And I would recommend a node like this, which give the elemental resistance for the minions. We're going to help with today, which is going to help with their survivability, or this 4 node over here, which end up going to give like the physical damage reductions and also some chaos resistance. Another node you probably also can try is this 3 node over here, which basically the minion recoup 10% damage taken as life. This also will help with survivability, but this will be the choice that you have to make for yourself. Do you want more minion survivability, or do you want more DPS? And the next one is a skill gem. I'm adding contagions. Contagion is not really necessary, but it does help with the mapping. Basically, when you contagion a target and the target died, the contagion spread, it helps with the explode. So it kind of able to kill like the small monster, and it basically make the clear a little bit more consistent. So, and also if you put chaotic freeze on the contagions, this basically make your chaos damage able to freeze. And this is very good for like map bosses, and on pinnacle bosses you probably still can freeze them, but it's not going to happen too fast. The freeze build up on the uber pinnacle bosses is pretty hard to get. And so far I do rituals and breach. Ritual and breach is fine. Simulacrum is a little bit problematic because of the minion survivability. At some point your minion is just going to die, and if the minion die, you're just going to die. That's the problem with simulacrums, but on the other bosses, I don't think you're going to have a problem killing them. It's not going to be as fast as 0.1, but you still can defeat them pretty fast. So for the contagion, I'm doing with Instant Agony, Minion Pack, Chaotic Freeze, and Arcane Tempo. You can probably change the Arcane Tempo with Unleash. That's probably something you can do too, if you want to. And for the minion ratio, right now, I'm just put everything on Reaver because I want to play Reaver. And for the Reaver count, I think 8 reaver is the minimum, and 10 reaver feels good. Like 10 reaver, you have like a really decent single target, you clear is pretty good. But of course, if you can get more reaver, the more reaver the better. And because reaver also kind of tank the monster for you, in mapping, having a lot of reaver also kind of feel a lot safer. And also, if you want to switch the reaver, let's say you don't really like reaver, you can kind of switch the gem with sniper. I think sniper will do better on mapping, but on single target I think reaver will still better. It's just the enrich give them so much attack speed and so much damage, so the reaver can ram the DPS pretty high. But just keep in mind, if you want to switch speed with reaver and sniper, you're always able to do that one, and sniper is also pretty good DPS too. So that's all the changes that I did. And for the channel itself, I will play Last Epoch next. Because I really think I need to take a break from PoE 2. I just feel very, very exhausted from PoE 2. I just feel like the game feels very, very tedious. I really try my best. I really try to like go to the end game, try to grind it, try to enjoy the game, but I'm just exhausted from it. So I think I will play Last Epoch next. It will launch in like 2 days. I do play Last Epoch a long time ago when it launched. It is a very good game. It's just when it launched, there's not that many content yet, so there's not much thing to do. But based on the update that I read, and based on like all the trailer and stuff, they add a lot of things on the game. So I want to visit the game again, and I want to see how the game feels right now. So that's basically the plan for the channels. So you probably won't see content for the PoE 2 for a little bit. I'm probably going to play Last Epoch for like a few weeks, maybe. It's just based on like how well Last Epoch will be. But I just think that I will need a break from PoE 2. So for people who are watching this channel only for PoE 2, I'm really, really sorry. I try my best. I'm just very exhausted from PoE 2. So I really hope you can understand. And also for the channels, I think it's better for me to have multiple games that I cover. So just in case, like if some of the development mess up, there's another game that I can cover. there's another kit that I can play, so the channel's performance not dropping too much. And for everyone who are watching and support me, I really want to say thank you. I really appreciate you guys. I think that's it for the video. Thank you everyone for watching. I will see you in the next one.